It's your boy Mike. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. So I'm gonna be honest, I am a little bit lazy. I could make an entire tier list video and do what Minatos did and, do all the work. Or I could just be funny and react to them, because I think that would not only be easier, but also because I've never watched a full tier list video from Minatos. Like, they always discuss it with me in DMs, but I've never actually sat down and watched the whole thing, so I do want to just, I feel like have it like a little fun, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. I'll try not to break too much because I don't want it to be like Minatos' video is 30 minutes long and then mine is like an hour, so I'm gonna try to just let the video
today
play.
We're going to be talking about my tier list. All right, guys,
we could probably just like skip forward until like it actually they start putting down the characters.
Okay. First off, we have Deborah, Cell, Frieza, and then Gotenks. Again, I think these characters are just very
like Deborah is a character who
have talked about this, and this is actually the
wants to prolong the fight out, and he can't. Cell just has too little HP to be worth running.
We'll talk about that.
Gotenks has gotten nerfed to the ground. Frieza, like the minions, are only really good on Super Start. That's about it.
Again,
Frieza's a superstar warrior, but like Cell,
about the Deborah,
I don't know.
Cell early game.
Cell needs buffs for sure. I'm very surprised at 18 and Trunks got buffs in terms of their HP, but like Frieza did not, or not Frieza. Cell did not.
For things that characters just do normally. Is the biggest issue. You can't heal for your characters.
Like if Cell was just perfect form the entire time, I honestly think he would be like good to great in role. Like it really is sad that he is like how he is,
Bot lane,
like imagine if he was like Vegeta.
It's just like very annoying. Frieza. Ultimate Gohan exists, unfortunately, for Frieza.
Yeah.
And he also got like a nerf to Zarbon on top of this. So Frieza's even worse now, by the way, because they further.
Well, like, okay. Having it where Frieza's damage got decreased, but then the strike defense down got increased was pretty nice. Like, the defense going down definitely helps out, and it being strike when a lot of these powerful moves are strike based, it was a good change. What wasn't a good change was how long the effect lasts for. Remember, Frieza is not a character who is not a character who is like top tier right now. So the fact that they're like nerfing not only his damage but then also making it where the effect of it lasts shorter is very stupid. The damage being increased on Dodoria wasn't needed.
Zarbon's damage. For some reason, Zarbon gets strike defense down, but like he does key blast. And then Dodoria got a slight buff, but
what'd be really cool is if they played into each other. Like, imagine Dodoria gave blast defense down by like 75, and then Zarbon put strike defense down by 75. So like Dodoria would be lowering what Zarbon would want to have, and then Zarbon would be lowering what Dodoria wants to have to make it where they're like working well together. I think that would be like a really good change for Frieza.
Sandra, if you're out there, I'm so sorry. We have Gotenks. We've talked about Gotenks. Poor Gotenks.
Yeah.
If someone's either way, I know Annie knows. Annie has made a video on this, but check on Annie, bro. Slightly Annie.
Yeah, and he's a really cool content creator. If you guys don't already follow them, you definitely should.
Actually have to. What's it called?
They make really good showcase videos for sure.
We need to kind of turn back time just so that Gotenks is like he was in season 1 and he actually be good. Okay, so
I mean, yeah, like I have said that, and we've talked about it. We've put it inside of the feedback before, that what they just need to do for Gotenks is just revert every single change that they've done, like everything. Put him back to how he was back in season 1. Because not only has his hitbox gotten wonkier for his skill 1, so like the tracking is different, not only has the cooldown got increased, not only has like the damage been like adjusted, it's just he did not need to be adjusted, and easiest way to put him back to where he used to be is just reverse him to how he was day one. Like,
Next,
easiest.
we have decent roll, which I did have 18 on the lowest tier before. I did put her in decent and roll this time. The reason why is because, again, I feel like she's still not able to accomplish what she really wants to, especially in endgame, but she is a decent amount threatening, I think, in laning phase. Like, if you try to fight 18 in laning, I think she can definitely catch you with a lot of different characters.
Yeah,
now
I agree.
One of the other things that helped 18 is the buffs to boss HP between Ribrianne and Jacko. I feel like because of this HP boss, you can't just like necessarily one-shot the bosses like you used to be able to, especially Ribrianne.
On top of that too, and they might bring it up, is that it's the same thing for Jackie Chun as well. I feel like Jackie Chun is a boss that you don't really burst down all at once. It is a boss that you try to fight the other team first, and then once you already kill all of them or kill most of them or have any sort of advantage at all, that's when you go for boss. So 18 is also like a little bit buffed because of Jackie Chun dropping as well.
And you know, this is something I'm even adjusting to, like the boss HP, like visually it looks the same, but the actual HP they have is lower. So I'm like, man, why am I not doing the damage I thought I would do? That's because their HP is way higher. So with that in mind, I think, again, team fights are still continuing to be incentivized and pushed in this game, which, again, is always a really good thing. And when it comes to that, 18 has actually pretty decent in team fights. But mostly, you know, starting, like, I would say early game and then mid game, she's, like, decent. And then she completely...
I don't know how this is going to look like at the end. I would still put 18 worse than slot though, because the way that I kind of see it is you want to have 2 DPS, like 1 tank and at least 1 technical in the best and worst in slot. So that's like the criteria for myself. But if 18 stays in decent and roll, that's fine. Like, there's still not, 18 is better than Deborah, Cell, Gotenks, and Frieza. So I get it if they stay there.
When you have just like 16,000 beams going around, even like mid-game ish, depending on the situation, like Superstar especially, I don't know. Next on this list, we do actually have Super Saiyan Vegeta, and again, this guy is just like, he's inoffensive. He's not really doing anything too crazy. Like, his shield restore is nice, and he was like, he's actually decent in like team fights because of this skill 1 shield restore, but I feel like he needs to do something more. Skill 3 is interesting, but I feel like it doesn't really necessarily help your team that much. I feel like, you know, his rush attacks don't do anything. This doesn't really matter, like this cooldown effect on his like HP being in a lower percentage, like, it's okay. I feel like the thing with Vegeta is, of course, you know, it'll help him restore his shield more, and he has a lot of shield, but I think especially like, I just don't feel threatened by him as much anymore. His skill 2, and, you know, on release was really good, but I think, again, a lot of people kind of did figure out how to play around this as well. It's really good for farming, and I think this is arguably still his best move in his arsenal, but it also doesn't restore his shield on top of that, like his armor. I keep saying shield, but it's his armor. I'm sure you guys get what I mean. And I just feel like he doesn't do, like, he doesn't do as much as other tank characters.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do want to see where the other placements of the characters are first. Like, I'd still would probably rather see I'd still be more threatened by a Vegeta than I probably would against like a Zamasu and stuff. What I would do to probably fix Vegeta is give some of his abilities some sort of debuffs to the enemy, or even just buffs to himself, because he's basically just relying 100% on his what is it, his shield, you know, like his extra HP or his armor, I think is what they call it in game. Like, it's just not, it's not good enough. Like, his ult, right? His ult at the end of the game will be like the most unavoidable super of all time, but it is hitting like a wet blanket, dude. Like it does nothing. It all it does is make it where you are getting your shield back. But like other than that, it's actually worthless. So what I would probably want to see is just again just debuffs on his some of his abilities, because he has nothing on a lot of them. Just none of them do anything to like the opponent or even just himself. It's just the armor mechanic.
Is really the biggest thing. Again, it's not like a complete throw pick if you pick them, but it's just like there's other characters, you know. And then next we have Krillin here. Krillin is just like decent. Again, I don't really think he does anything too special. With how many key blasts there are going around in this game, his mines are very easy to counter if you know what to do. And he could do decent damage, but like that's really it. I think he is able to shine in certain situations. The blinding and the marking could be useful. He can get first hit pretty safely, but outside of that, he's just kind of not that good for team fights, I feel like. And that's, I think, a big issue with him, really, is that he's just not really like, what is he really doing in team fights that's super crazy? I don't know, because it's like, okay, you know, if you use his mines in his team fights, then you lose any of the other mines you set elsewhere, or if you're trying to protect your tower, and then that maybe could open you for a little more backdooring, you know, just, yeah. Especially if you have your mines set on your tower, and you're just kind of having that watch there, well, now the mines are not there anymore. You guys get what I'm trying to put on the table? Yeah, that's the issue. Okay, next we have Good and Raw, and then I'll talk about Kale first.
I think Krillin is a little bit underrated just because of like I don't know if I would say that he's more than good and roll. I think he's just good. Like I don't think he's decent, but like okay, because I'm assuming Minatos is probably going to be putting Majin Buu in good and roll. I think Krillin to me is the same as Buu, where yes, both characters can shine very brightly, and they could both like be not, I wouldn't even say disgustingly broken. They could just be very annoying to deal with, right? Obviously not to the extent of Hit, Ulton, Kid Gohan, 17. Like I would probably have those all of those higher than like Buu and Krillin. But the thing is that not only does Krillin have it where it's just like he's gotten slightly better because of Super Saiyan 3 Goku getting nerfed, and that was like one of the people who would just like destroy his mines like for free basically. But on top of that, I feel like Bojack, who is another like giant counter to Krillin, just isn't really played anymore. And again, it's mostly just because he doesn't really have any escape options. Sure, if you have Super Saiyan 2 Goku or Bojack on the enemy team, then yeah, Krillin is not going to really look too well, or even Vegito, just because of his sword slash. But like other than those characters, I feel like he can look very, very decent, at least to me.
A character got nerfed that we'll talk about later, but Kid Gohan. And I think because of the energy defense down removal from Kid Gohan's kit, Kale is not as good as he once was. By the way, I do need to talk about this. I don't know if they updated the website yet, because sometimes they're very late on this. They have not updated the website just yet.
No, they don't update the website. It's always very late.
Defense down right there. So people think that this buff for Gohan right here is giving everyone energy attack up effects, but this is not the case. The energy attack up effect is not to allies, it's only to himself, because he gives himself energy defense up here. I should have kept Kid Gohan up. I wonder if I could. Yeah, here he is. So like if you look on the screen here, again, he gets himself all defense up and then applies attack up to the ally hero. But no, the all energy attack up is only to Kid Gohan specifically. So he's not giving like Kale like 1000% attack, or 1000 attack, right? Because Kid Gohan's buff is 500, I think it's 400. Now he is a little tankier. Again, we'll talk about that later, but I think that kind of like brings Kale down a little bit, because that's how she really was able to just like one-shot everything, and she still could do a lot of damage, but I don't think she's as oppressive as she was, so that's why I moved her down to good and roll. Super Saiyan 3 Goku got nerfed.
I mean, did Manatos even talk about it? I think they did, and I probably just missed it, but they didn't really talk about like this is another reason why that Gohan was just so oppressive with Kale, was because the energy defense down to enemies within the barrier was removed. So it's like that also hurt Kale a whole bunch, because that was like the person who would make Kale look disgustingly broken with her like 2 skill combo, you know? And now that's not as effective anymore. I do still think that she's like decent, like how they're Minatos put it, like just in the middle, because you know solid barrier got taken out back and shot. So it's like now it's even easier in this season to just be able to constantly use that 1-2 skill combo, or it's like 3-1 I believe. But yeah, I feel like it's still pretty oppressive. It's just definitely not as oppressive as some of these other characters.
Again, we'll talk about that. I almost would argue this guy is like a tickle monster. Like that's what I'm gonna call him. Like he's kind of like a tickle monster right now. Like the damage nerf was pretty impactful, because he does 40 less damage each of the follow-up attack, each of like the follow-up hits, just kind of crazy. Then he does 50 less burst damage, and that adds up. Then when we look at the IT Kamehameha, it does 100 less of the burst damage, which is a lot of HP that, you know, the enemy's saving. Then 30 less per each of the follow-up attacks. Like this guy, low-key, they kind of gutted him. Like he's actually probably one of the lower ends of characters in terms of DPS right now. Like this is the one thing he really had. Dragon Fist is still good, but like this is like his bread and butter, you know? And now it doesn't like do as much. Not to say he can't be annoying, but he's kind of like a super start merchant at this point. Like super start, or
I would say yeah, like super start with Super Saiyan 3 Goku is just very, it's almost toxic in a sense, just having to constantly go up against that, right? But the thing is that like, okay, Super Saiyan 3 Goku was constantly complained about inside of the feedback section, even though he wasn't one of the best DPS. So I do think that probably was the reason why they just continuously did nerf him. But I'm not going to say that it was warranted. I would still say that I just don't like his playstyle, and I don't like his kit and all that. Like, I think for a MOBA of this capacity, having an ability that you could just teleport wherever you want in the entire map led to some situations that, like, should not happen. Like, Goku should not be able to spawn in and then immediately go into boss and secure, right? Or like the enemy kills Super Saiyan 3 Goku, his cooldown, not his cooldown, but like his chance to come back, his revive is like 20 seconds. The team fight is still going on. Super Saiyan 3 Goku like instant transmissions in and then does a Kamehameha and like finishes off a lot of the people who just killed him. Like that is very stupid, right? But that's just my opinion. Like I don't like his playstyle, and I'm glad that he got nerfed, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, no, it was deserved.
Like Superstar saves this man's life. Superstar saved his life, man. Imagine if Superstar wasn't in the game. I don't know. Of course, instant transmission is still a good ability, but man, it's kind of funny. They messed up with this character, and they like are just continuing to nerf him. I don't think he needed that nerf, by the way. Now, a character that I think is looking really decent right now. I say decent, but like really nice. Like this is kind of like, I would say like 8-ish out of 10 tier-ish, maybe like 7, 8 around there. Is Trunks. Trunks got the HP buff he needed. And earlier he had his cooldown reduced in the season as well. If Trunks had skill 2 boost, low key, he could even be argued as great in rolls, I'm gonna say. But Trunks actually has some sauce to him now. The only reason why I feel like Trunks is not great in roll is because they also debuffed his HP. He has 2,000 less HP.
This is really silly that they debuffed his HP, by the way, when they saw that Trunks and 18 were the most requested characters to have an HP like buff. They buffed 18 and then they lowered Trunks's final HP. Is very silly. The buff to the beginning though was very, very nice. And another thing that, you know, is just like transformation characters always have an absurd amount of HP. So just them giving it where it's like this in general is a very, very good change.
Game, and he has 1,000 HP start of a game. I think the 1,000 extra HP is still so good for him, and he needed that. But man, it's like, you know, again, like for example, we had Trunks right here, decent next to Topo. Now I feel like Trunks is pretty good, honestly. Like Trunks has the ability to just
who's that? Who's that on the bottom right? That's so funny. I think I loaded up Gekishin Squadra just so that way that I could interrupt them.
I still think you need to be very, you still need to be a little passive with Trunks and still need to watch out, because I think he can get melted still, even though the extra HP again was needed for him, because now it's like, okay, he doesn't get as melted for sure, but still like it's still a little bit tricky for him. I feel like
the thing that I would probably want the most for Trunks is two things. One, his skill 1 needs to be buffed for the range that it is at when it is level 1. Like again, we look at a lot of these other characters like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 1 Goku, Piccolo, who else is like a pretty, like, I don't know, oppressive, I guess Gamma's baby Bojack in a sense. My point was, I was gonna say is that like they have like a lot more range on their skills, and they get their stuff for a lot, well, free. They get a lot more free than Trunks does, and the range that it has early game is very small. And then again, on top of that, the cooldown is very, very long compared to some of these other ones. I probably would just want the cooldown reduced by like a second or two, but the range is the biggest thing. And then 2, his ultimate is just so bad, not only early game, but even like mid to late game. It could be just not that good, because it's just like it takes so long for that ultimate to come out. It should not take that long for it to drop. You know, it is so dumb. Like I think it needs just like a couple seconds faster for its speed.
So again, the HP is very useful. Then next here, I do have Bojack. I mean, there's not much to say. Bojack's just like a good character. Medical pods as well, like, really helps this guy. You know, I feel like I get medical. I'm sure we all get medical respawn every other game. You know, that's just how the game works, I guess. Skill 3 is really good for medical respawn. He has a really good area control. Could do pretty nice damage. Bojack is just great, a good character. Like his ult is really nice for helping bosses, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like his ult can be maybe a little better. So skill 1 needs a buff. Skill 1 sucks. Like poor skill 1. That skill 1's so bad, bro. You skip that shit.
It's funny because the skill 1 did get like a major buff
Goku.
as well.
I mean, again,
I honestly didn't really talk about it. Another reason why I would just put good in roll as well, is even with Bojack doing a lot of damage compared to some of these other, like Bojack does as much damage as like great and sometimes even best in roll, but we look at a lot of these characters who are in best in roll and great in roll, and all of them have escape options. Bojack has nothing. His ring does not count as an escape option. Even with its movement speed down, it's not like you're going to be able to get out because of that. You just die because of that, right? So that I would
this guy's just good, but I don't think he's excelling at anything particularly right now. I think cloud cover, this guy could actually be very like nice with backstab, but outside of that, I feel like, I don't know, like he's like decent for team fights, but I don't think he's excelling at team fights. You know, I think Well, I say that, but he has the lightning chain on his skill 2 with Gloria, which does chain and do more damage like over the chain that he's able to do. The DOT is nice, but I don't think I'm gonna put him at a higher tier because of that. Nah, I think he's good here. Power pole dance is still really good. His ultimate is also kind of just like mid. I don't know. Like his ultimate is literally a whatever. I think that's one of the things that kind of makes me keep him here in this good and roll tier. And then finally we have.
Now, for me personally, it's the HP. Daimagoku's HP is way too small, and it like even with his power pole dance and that movement speed and defense that it gives you, he's able to just get shut down a lot of times when trying to escape. There are some moments where you'll be like, oh yeah, man, I just got out, and like Daimagoku has like 2 HP and you're like, oh yes, man. But then like more often than not, it also just means you just can't participate in fights too often because of how low your HP is. You always have to be scared for that. But yeah, it doesn't help that they just like nerfed him a lot. But he deserved them, but like it was a lot for sure.
I actually like Topo's no obstruction on skill 3. It was super useful for this guy because
I haven't used Topo's too much, so I can't really comment on this, but from what I've heard, yeah, like his skill 3 is really good.
Buddy, attack me and then you get cooked. There's a lot of energy damage going around here. Topo, you know, gets a decent amount of HP. I feel like Topo doesn't really get killed through his counter most of the time. It can happen. Now, the biggest thing with Topo is I think his ultimate still needs to be a little faster. I think like the cast time for his ultimate takes too long, or something with skill 1 needs to be buffed, but his skill 2 and skill 3 are quite nice right now. Team fighting is again way more incentivized, so I think Topo just has more wiggle room to do what he needs to do and be a bit oppressive. So I think they did good with Topo. You know what's funny? This is not in order. You could argue Topo is better than Super Saiyan 3 Goku right now. Like, you could argue Topo is the best Season 1 release character at this current moment. Is that not insane? That's so funny. I think that's really, like, great to see, honestly.
Yeah.
And then next one, again, this is the same as my last tier list, I think, for the... Well, actually, it's not. So we have Zamasu here, then Baby, and then I will put just Majibu as well. I mean, again, these are characters that didn't...
Yeah, see, I knew that they were going to do that. That's what I was saying. Like, it's really hard for me because at the same time, you don't want to have a tier list where there's like 2 characters in that tier. But again, like the amount of people who shut down Boo and the amount of people who shut down Krillin are around the same, and they both provide the same amount of value. I feel like that I would honestly like, I would rather see Boo go down than Krillin stay here by himself.
Change at all,
or Krillin to go up. Also, I want to see what they're going to say about Zamasu being better than Vegeta.
Not much for me to say. Again, Baby is pretty good for team fighting. Zamasu and Superstar could be a bit oppressive. He's like decent for team fighting as well. He could be he's pretty nice laning phase. I do like Zamasu just generally. He just needs, again, give Zamasu a stagger on skill 2. And this boy is kind of like really cooking. That stagger and a speed up, because his skill 2 has a really long windup. Decrease the windup, give him a stagger. Zamasu could be pretty good, especially on dude. Superstar Zamasu is dangerous. He's a dangerous guy. You gotta watch out for Superstar Zamasu, bro. He's a menace. He's a killer. Okay, of course we know Baby already. Majibu.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, Superstar. I'd rather fight a Vegeta than a Zamasu Superstar.
I mean, just a decent character. Like I say decent, but he's like not in the decent role. Like I think he can provide a decent amount with the healing. But he also has the Strangle Gun, which I really do like. I personally have always been a fan of the Strangle Gun. You know what they could do to make Boo really good though? If they make his ultimate area of hit wider, or even like a little faster cast time. If Boo's ultimate is silly, because if they make it too good, he's low-key busted with that ultimate. Because if they're all grouped up together, you could just use Boo's ultimate and then turn multiple enemies into candy. Or if there's a wide enough range and you turn multiple them into candy, that's kind of like free eats, free boss almost, you know? I think Boo's fine where he is. The next we have Great and Roll. Putting respect on Super Saiyan Goku. In my last list, I had him a tier lower than he should have been. I
wouldn't want to see his ultimate change. I'd rather see Boo's 3, his skill 3 get changed. Because like his skill 3 is just completely worthless. I feel like it's not a good escape option. It's not a good damaging option. It's not really good for anything. It's just a pushback. It used to have it where it would apply no skills to the enemies who were hit by it, and then they removed it. I don't know why.
kind of was like, because to be honest, when it comes to Super Saiyan Goku, like I'm sure you guys saw me when I was talking about it in the stream that the details came out for the initial season 3 patch. I was like, I still think Super Saiyan Goku is really good. In fact, he even got a movement speed increase on his what's it called? What was it? It's his skill 3 Kaioken. He has one less stock when it's end game, but I don't think that's really the biggest deal. But he has 15% movement speed up.
It is the biggest deal.
Up on his first level of the skill, which is basically making up for the loss of Android 16. And yeah, I mean, Goku still does a lot of damage. The movement speed down he has, do not underestimate the skill 2 movement speed down. That is a 70% movement speed down. That's also an AoE effect. Spirit Bomb is still pretty good at getting the final hit on bosses. Kamehameha is still really good. His passive skill gives him a ton of damage. I feel like that's one thing people don't talk about. This passive skill, I mean, I feel like this passive skill, bro, is crazy good. Like it gives you a ton of extra damage. This guy is still great. You know how many nerfs this guy has received? He's unkillable.
It was like 3 or 4 in total, I think.
Made him too good. To nerf this guy at this point, they have to rework his entire kit, and they're not gonna do that. This Super Saiyan Goku is still, it's crazy. It's so crazy, man. Oh my goodness. I mean, again, this is not an order. We can talk about Broly next. I think, again, team fight meta, Broly's looking good. Broly is able to kind of cover a lot of distance, closing on the enemy, be very oppressive. If Broly wants to fight, you are fighting Broly. That's all I'm gonna say. His ultimate is still really nice. I feel like it is still good for, you know, team fights around in the arena for bosses, and it does give movement speed down as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's kind of it. I think Broly, one issue with Broly maybe is that you could say, you know, Kale's existence was hurting Broly a little because he's pretty weak to energy damage. I feel like you see his energy resistance is on the lower end, especially compared to strike resistance. But Kale's not really as effective anymore, and so is Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So I think Broly has a little more wiggle room to kind of, you know, do what he wants to. Piccolo's still really good. That's pretty.
I would probably, like, I'm not gonna say that Broly's not like, he's not better or worse than he's before. I feel like he's still the same. Like, yeah, sure, Kale isn't as oppressive, so directly that makes it where Broly doesn't have to worry about Kale anymore. But like, look at the rest of these characters, right? Vegito is a person who uses blasts. Oob is a character who uses blasts. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are a character who uses blasts. And if anything, it actually is the exact same, because Kale might not be oppressive and not like as big of a warrior in Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but you now have to worry about Oob and Vegito, which before you didn't have to, before Vegito came out and before Oob got buffed, right? So like I would say Broly's around the same. Like he's not better or worse. He did have like his passive changed, but if anything, that made him better just because you can use the skill 3 more often.
Pretty much it. I mean, Piccolo has been as good as he has been since his buff in season 1. They haven't adjusted him.
It is gonna be weird, not weird. It's gonna be funny because like I think Piccolo is best in slot. His ultimate is just—he's actually just insane.
Increasing the boss HP doesn't like. Okay, the thing about Piccolo is that he still does the most damage and it has one of the better secures, but you still need to be a bit careful with him. And I don't think he's like guaranteed like a best in slot option even because of special beam cannon, because I think he's Piccolo is an attacker that is a bit reliant on your teammates and what your teammates do. If your teammates fumble and fail you, then you are also going to fail as Piccolo, because you need to be like peeled for. You need to have your team just like do really good for making sure like the boss is at a good position or with the enemies and things like that. But that's pretty much it.
Well, I get that. It's more so the way that I kind of see it is, yes, I'm not going to say that that's not true. Like, I completely agree that Piccolo does need more work than a lot of these other DPS. Like, Goku can just throw the Spirit Bomb. Broly can just use his ultimate. Oob can just use his ultimate as well. Gammas can just use their ultimate. Vegito can just use their ultimate. They don't need any setup at all. Piccolo has to sit there and charge a special beam and hope that his team is able to bring them down low enough, and then he can use it. Or Piccolo has to hope that, you know, his team is able to defend and protect tower, and then he could use his ultimate. And Piccolo is able to be visible while charging up his special beam and all of that stuff, right? But the way that I see it is, if you can give him that setup, he is easily best in slot. He is one of the highest damage dealing units in the game. He has it where his ultimate can one-shot the entire team. Do you know how many clips there are that exist? Like, Piccolo is like a Twitter clip character where you're just able to do some insane stuff with him and post it on Twitter and be like, yeah, look at that. I'm the best Piccolo player of all time. Like, he has a high ceiling, and sure, his like bottom parts can be like his lowest points can be a bit low compared to some of these other great enrolls that are just better by themselves. But like I said, if you give Piccolo that, he can look so
Next,
crazy, man.
I guess we'll talk about Vegito. This is characters that I covered a lot in the last list. I feel like I don't have to talk about too much. Vegito's good. Really good team fights, gives himself a lot of extra HP. I really like the transformation that you can use early on just to get it.
It's very oppressive. Just getting a free level
card essentially early game is always a useful ability to have. Can help you very successful in laning phase. I like this guy. I think he's quite good. I almost put him in best in slot, but I decided otherwise. Then I mean, from here we'll put Cooler, Balifla, Kid Gohan, 17, and then Hits. I mean, again, like, these really great characters, not much I have to say. I will address Kid Gohan though. Kid Gohan's buff got nerfed, so he's not best in the slot anymore, in my opinion. I feel like Kid Gohan is overall a really good character still. He still has his ultimate stun, he still has his skill 2 stun, skill 3 still does give energy defense up, which is really nice. He's a bit tankier now. His cooldown in the skill 3 was also reduced, which, you know, could be a decent defensive tool. And again, against a character, you know, if you do run into a KO.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just not to like pause for too long, but like, we look at a lot of these other characters who are best in slot and great in role for technicals, and they're all doing something that like oppresses the other team. Gohan lost that for himself. Like, Gohan can still be crazy with his stuns on his 2, his stuns on his 4, the support that he's giving and all of that, but like, he's using his ultimate and making everyone blind. 17 is using their barrier and making everyone like protected from some of these abilities. You know, Ultimate Gohan, who was about to be best in slot, is able to not only use his skill 3 to push enemies away, but use his ultimate to either get kill confirms or even, again, just push enemies away, make them get stunned by pushing them back with the skill 2. Like, all of that stuff together makes it where Gohan probably just is not best in role anymore, just because he lost the thing that was like the best about him, I would say.
Maybe even Super Saiyan Goku
with that energy defense down.
You know, there's a lot of characters that
Not that
defense
he's
could
not good.
be
He's still
against,
amazing for
so
sure.
it's still nice. And I mean, Oob, right? Well, we'll talk about Oob right now. Hit is really good. 17, I feel like you could argue him lower. And I'm thinking about it, but I think I'm gonna keep 17 here. I do still like his ultimate. I feel like 17 is like really a bit tough for me here, but I think
For me personally, I think that like 17 is doing his job good, but like he's better than Boo, but he's probably worse than Gohan and Hit. So I would have, again, worst case, moved Boo down to decent enroll, kept 17 in good enroll, and then leave Kid Gohan and Hit and great
I'll
enroll
keep him
personally.
here just cause he's able to look. Personally, I'm a huge fan of his berry. I think it does really underrated ability.
Yeah.
And then again, we'll have the rest of the characters up here. So we'll talk about Oob first. Oob got like Otopo got like help, but then Oob just like god damn, bro. They said here's your Oob.
On top of that, another thing that's very interesting, Oob got buffed like this, right? But there was no debuffs about him, right? Like, okay, if you want to be like, oh, well, his late game HP got adjusted to be lower, but his early game, which probably suffered the most, got adjusted to be higher, right? So that was like the only bad part about it. We look at a lot of these other characters who always get buffed, like Deborah, and Oob has no downsides, like at all. His Cyclone got increased. His skill 1 got increased. His skill 2 got increased. His skill 3, the cooldown got decreased. Like there was no part about Oob that got adjusted to be worse, like how we've seen for some of these other buffed characters. It was just pure buffs across the board. And the only thing that didn't get a buff was just the adjustment. Nothing got nerfed.
Buffs, man. I think the biggest thing for him is the Cyclone increase is crazy. That's 32 extra Cyclone that you get from that. Makes like that's crazy. 32 extra Cyclone, man. It's so insane. It makes this ultimate hit so hard. This ultimate is disgusting right now. And if you don't die, you turn into candy. So you just get jumped on after. You can't escape. Oob hits, you're cooked.
Yeah, but like it has a really big wind up time and is very easy to dodge out of, at least early game. Late game, it could definitely be like a little bit of an issue. I see it as like a diet special beam, you know, maybe just like maybe even just a faster special beam. Maybe it is like just another thing of special beam, not even just diet. It's what is it called? It's special beam 0.
It's over. Oh, it's ultimate.
Or instead of like Coke and Pepsi, it's special beam and the ults for Oob.
Is fucking nasty,
Cyclone
dude. I don't know what, like, the Cyclone increase was nice, but oh my god. Then it's easier for him to build Cyclone. Then right here, the skill 2, the rush attack, the range was increased firstly, and the hit effect was also increased, so he's doing more damage in skill 2. Skill 3 had a 1.5 second decrease, and that has 3 stocks. And he got more HP early game. Like, oh my god. They just wow. They gave him everything. They said, yep, we're buffing Oob. They buffed everything about him. Oh, I didn't mention this about 18, but she did actually get a decent HP increase, which is really nice for her. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's another reason why I had her up there. But oh my god, ooh, bro, goodness. Now, Gammas are still, I think, best in slot.
The other thing that I feel like, again, Minatos probably just forgot to bring up that makes Oob so impressive as well is, don't forget, his skill 2 gives him unstoppable. So when Oob got it, where like he just got more insane because of those buffs.
Even though they did,
where is it? Wait, what? Not only did the skill 2 get buffed, but it was already pretty good because of the unstoppable effect, and now that he just gets that
actually get
as well.
It was nerfed, but I feel like while having skill 1 is nice to switch them, Gamma Strike, like, okay, the thing about like being able to switch between the Gammas, it is useful, and you know, sometimes you do want to skip upgrading it though, or I feel like some people might not even get it. You have your ultimate, which is, I believe, a 60-second cooldown. So even if you die with one of the Gammas, you're able to use your ult and get the back. But yeah, he lost the stagger. I think, you know, that was, the stagger was disgusting. I think the stagger was too good. But then they gave him immune to all. Why? Because yeah. So when you use their ultimate, they can't die. They actually can't die for a second and a half. They're invincible for a second and a half. Think about that. You see a massive ult coming in, you might die. Pop that ult. You iframe through it. It's actually iframes. That's what it is. And then while special pose is active, he gets an extra 2 meters in his rush attack range, which is really cool. It's funny because that special pose, like rush attack range being increased, wasn't even talked about inside of the original Gamma's kit. Like, they only now talk about it. Like, it said it in the news that it was adjusted to finally put it inside of their kit, like mentions. The Gamma 2 movement speed up is increased to 25%. He gains a 15% movement speed buff. We gotta replay the OST because we're just like yapping. You get the 15%, bro. Again, that's Android 16. We talked about this already. But again, like, we take a look here. When you switch into Gamma 2, yeah, each Gamma has their own base HP, rush attack, and movement speed. Gamma 2 got a movement speed increase. He got less damage here, but the movement speed increase is really nice because you can just, again, move around and then switch into Gamma 1, use a skill over and over. It is funny that both Gammas and Goku got like an adjustment to their movement speed though. I actually don't know if that affects this. I feel like it would take the movement speed from Gamma 2, the higher movement speed, is what I assume it would do. I can't say that for sure, but it does, again, combine their HP stats into one, transforms their rush attacks into combination attacks. I assume the movement speed is gonna be, okay, to be fair, damn, we already got the whole tier list done. You got specifically 6 minutes left of yapping. We know how good the Gammas are, right? Yes. Now, Ultimate Gohan. This guy is just, he's still really good. Now, I feel like he is, the HP nerf does hurt him, and I've said this the past few tier lists I've done. The HP nerf does definitely hurt, but it's not the end of the world. He still just has so much movements, a lot of control in team fights. With these team fights being drawn out, though, it could be a little dangerous for him because of the HP nerf he has and the lack of what build-up was in Season 2. But this guy's still really good. And I will say Bardock is I feel like Bardock is, like, pretty solidly best tank. But Super Saiyan, I didn't even think about that. They haven't even talked about tanks yet. That would be why they're so yapping. I don't feel like putting Vegeta next to Cooler and Caulifla. I don't think that feels right, because I think Vegeta is still pretty strongly.
It's very hard to say too, because I feel like Bardock and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, they do things slightly better than both like of themselves. Like I like Bardock's ultimate more than I like Vegeta's, because Bardock can use his ultimate to push people off of tower and then be able to take tower himself as well. You know, it could push enemies off of bosses in the same way that Vegeta does, but it does it in a much quicker way, while also again making it where Bardock can participate in those battles and keep people away, you know. But they both suffer the same issue of like having one skill that's just not that good. I would say that Bardock's is skill 3 and Vegeta's is skill 1. It's not like they're bad, but they could be better. But yeah, both of them, but like both Bardock and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta are very oppressive. Like they like, fit in the same tier for me.
Like Vegeta is closer to Bardock than he is to Cooler and Khalifa. Let's talk about Bardock. Busted character, actually insane. Like Bardock has so much control over the map. He has like a built-in steel skin, kind of. I don't know if it's the exact same as steel skin, but it works similar to that. When this is built up, he actually becomes quite decently tanky.
If you pair it with steel skin as well, it's insane.
AoE Roto that activates multiple people and pulls them away, and he becomes extremely tanky when he's guarding. It does damage over time.
It kind of reminds me a lot of like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's skill 3, where it's like, what the fuck, why do they make it have this many stuff, right? It's the same thing with Wild Roar. He has it where they apply Wrath, so it draws enemies in. The AoE itself is very good. You can move while doing it. You can stop it whenever you want or activate another skill. You get more HP. You also have it where that ties into his passive skill, so he's getting less damage dealt to himself. Like he has 13 different things happening all at once just from him using Wild Roar. And it's again, it's the same thing like how Vegeta has with his wall, right?
Very stupid. This is a disgustingly stupid move. I don't know what they're thinking with that. His ultimate's annoying. I don't think it's crazy good, but again, it's kind of a very similar thing to what Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's ultimate is doing, except he's not just standing around like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Skill 3 is really good.
Yeah, I'd say Super Saiyan really good. Bardock's like ultimate is actually decent.
Skill 1, again, you get 3 stocks in it from level 1. It can apply movement speed down to enemies, which again, movement speed down, there's so much movement speed down going on right now that you could chain these together and it just gets disgusting, and they can't, like, you just zone in on your enemy and you just kill them. You want to try and like aim this to hit multiple enemies, like you have them fly into each other or into a wall, just for them to do extra damage. But I think it's pretty good, man, and you could use it to either make space or like just kind of close in almost. I've been able to get some KO confirms off this skill 1 a few times. His rush attacks, he could get AoE rush attacks when his gauge is built up, which is nice. Then of course he has a Super Saiyan transformation. Like this guy's just good. Like he's like this skill 2. It's really, I think his skill 2 is doing such a heavy lifting, but oh my god, it's good. Then his skill 3, you can still utilize it, but I think his other skills you just would rather invest into, honestly.
It's genuinely just the build up time at the beginning of it. Like if Raging Charge didn't have that, or he's like sitting on the floor,
but
like he gets ready and does that like charge, like this whole thing where it stops you and he's like kneeling for a second to then launch forward is very
it's a bit slow of a start time.
Yeah,
and the movement speed does increase to be really nice and can be used as an evasive maneuver. Like for me personally, I do grab a point in this still, even though I know a lot of people would skip it and it might be like quote unquote optimal too, but there's these situations where you might need this to escape.
Yeah,
but
or even just get
really
into fights too.
I think it's a little hard to control, and the stagger doesn't last that long anyways for like literally anything else you could be doing during that time. So that's kind of it. But Bardock's pretty overpowered. So this is my list. Just at the end here, if you're watching here and you skip at the end, And you have any questions, I would just watch the video. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I would say that Mina did a really good job, though. I like the tier list. Like I said, personally, what I would do is have 17 go down, have Boo go down, and I don't even know. Like, I guess 18 can stay there because Deborah is worse than 18. It just doesn't feel right because I have them kind of the same in my head. But we'll go ahead and stop there. Oh my god, it is 55 minutes. Jesus Christ, man. Gulp. Anyways, we'll go and stop there, though. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a great week. Also, I'm going to link Banana's video down in the comments, too. I'm going to pin it. So if you guys want to watch theirs instead, you can go ahead and feel free to do so. But thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.